Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Destiny. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we're going to be talking about Crucible setups. Now I've played a lot of Iron Banner recently, as has everyone else, and it really brought into sharp focus how much of a gap there is between the best guns and classes and the rest in Destiny 2. There are some fun alternatives for sure, but for me there really is quite a clear top tier and certain pairings are almost unstoppable if played correctly. In this video I'll be detailing the top two setups in our opinion, as I feel they're as close to even as you can get. One of them is very dominant at mid to close range, and the other favours longer range and extremely close up with a gap in its mid range. Now you could, as the player, favour one over the other, which is largely dependent on how you like to play the game. I do actually prefer one, and I'll cover my personal favourite setup first. Quick disclaimer, these setups don't include power weapons. Most of the power options in the game are pretty good, except for grenade launchers and linear fusion rifles, so that part really is player choice. It's not like you get power ammo all the time anyway. This guide is for your two primary weapons: Uriel's Gift and Antiope D. My absolute go-to weapons at the moment are the Antiope D Kinetic SMG and the Uriel's Gift Energy AR. This, in my opinion, is the strongest mid-range setup in the game, and the main reason for that is the Uriel's Gift. I happen to think it's savagely overpowered. Now a lot of that has to do with high caliber rounds, like everybody knows, but what really makes this gun outrageous is when you use the Flash HS5 sight and extend its effective range. Then it becomes something else entirely, easily capable of outgunning even a Mitre at medium long range. The great thing about these 450 RPM archetype ARs is how versatile they are and how quick their time to kill is when used optimally. The Uriel's Gift is at the top of that pile. The Prosecutor, the Number, they're good, but there is no disputing who the daddy is when it comes time to really try your pants off. For a long time I wanted to use a hand cannon with my Uriels as its close range foil. It's the Destiny 1 player in me. I've tried all of them, and some of them are usable, like the Better Devils, but I found myself wanting my close range option to be what I use to actively push an enemy who's trying to turtle up. There is no better answer for that conundrum than an SMG at the moment. The reason SMGs are so good for this is because of their quick time to kill and their increased in-air accuracy, and there is no better kinetic SMG than the Antiope D. It's the kill clip element that really makes it the best for me. Melt one person and you have a decent chance of evading, reloading and melting the next target before they even know what's happening. I don't actually get to do that all that often. I'm not really good enough with my movement, but it's something you see players like Wishy Luck and Luminosity do all the time. In particular, if you're a hunter, using an SMG while jumping at close range will win you many gunfights. It's simply too hard to track your double jump for most players. People talk a lot about the slow time to kill in Destiny 2. In my experience, these two weapons end people so quick they don't even have time to react. The time to kill feels instant, which is why I like it so much. Now, I like to try and play aggressively, which is harder in this game than the first, so using this setup suits me, but you do have to play a little smarter with what peaks you take at very long range. You will dominate the mid-range game, so play around that fact. As soon as I started using these two in tandem, my KDA skyrocketed and my enjoyment of the game massively increased. That's a testament to this setup's power. Mitre multi-tool and Last Hope sidearm. The classic, the Mitre and the Last Hope. This setup has been the target of much debate, with both weapons being extremely strong, perhaps too strong. The Last Hope in particular is outrageous within its limited range, and because of its blisteringly fast time to kill, some in the community have looked down on it as somewhat cheap or not requiring any skill to use. I understand that point of view. I do think it's overpowered, but so is the Uriel's Gift, so is anything with high caliber rounds, arguably. This isn't a video about the morality of a Crucible setup. This is about looking at what the best ones are, and both these weapons are in the S tier of the meta. Now initially, when we all started playing Destiny 2, the Mitre was everywhere, and I used it a lot too. It has been one of my favourite guns in Destiny for a long time, but I think it's fair to say its prevalence contributed to the very team shot, lane oriented feel of the Crucible. Now it is still the best main option for that keep away style. The strafe speed, the constant radar, and yes, high caliber rounds make it the best range gun in the game, but it doesn't fare all that well up close or with body shots if we're being totally honest, and that's where the Last Hope comes in. The sidearm's so good we made a whole video talking about it. Now you all probably know why the Last Hope is so good, so I won't bore you with the same info twice, but what I will talk about is the synergy with the Mitre. When playing keep away or defensively with a ranged weapon, you can be susceptible to fast flanks or being outnumbered. That's when the Last Hope comes into its own. It's one of the fastest killing primaries in the game and really helps you defend against someone pushing aggressively at you, which if you've been playing defensively properly and shutting people down at range, they are very likely going to attempt to do to you. The Last Hope covers you where the Mitre is weak, and that's why it's so good. You can use it in mid-air too, with little impact to accuracy. The only weakness of this setup is a lack of a real mid-range game, comparatively speaking at least. The Mitre isn't unusable at medium range, but you'll lose out to a Uriel's most times. This setup is extremely powerful, but requires discipline in how you manage your distance control. There's an awkward gap between clearly a Mitre gunfight and clearly a Last Hope gunfight. If you manage that properly, your opponents will be absolutely cursing you. A quick honourable mention. There is a third setup that a lot of people think is actually top of the meta, which is Mitre and Uriel's, but for me, that lacks mid-air capabilities. When watching the best players, the edge they generate from their movement and aggression is what helps them dominate, and a big part of that is utilising mid-air damage. The burst of SMG and sidearm damage at close range is too strong to ignore. It's one of the only truly viable ways of playing aggressively. If Mitre and Uriel's works for you, then great. Nothing wrong with using two of the best guns in the game. I just feel it's more tactically limiting in terms of how you can change the pace of your own play. And that's about it. Let us know what your favourite setups are in the comments below. We look forward to reading them. I really hope you found this video useful. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you never want to miss another video of ours again, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button on our channel to join the notification squad. You'll be in good company. And finally, please check out the Your Destiny Twitter, where you can find updates about new videos and other cool stuff. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time,